What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode here. Today we've got Ray's other Del Sol. So as you guys seen or may not have seen, we painted that red Del Sol for a good customer of ours. Well, now we're gonna dig into his green Del Sol. He's ready for us to tackle this one. So we're gonna go ahead and knock it out. Quick little run around on it. We're doing a complete paint and body on this thing. It'll basically get the same thing as that red Del Sol. It's had quite a bit of damage as well. It's kind of funny. The other Del Sol had quarter panel damage, and this one has quarter panel damage as well. As we can see, it's been previously repaired, and it just doesn't fit the taillight at all. So we don't know what's going on. It's got just a funky body line. The bumper don't line up at all on this thing. It's got sand scratches all throughout it, but that don't really matter because we're tearing it all down. We are going to do the EK side skirts on this one as well. The customer really liked that on his last one. Mold the front lip into it. Just a lot of little things on this thing. Nothing too crazy other than hope y'all are excited for that. I know we are, but let's go ahead and dive into this thing. We're just gonna start tearing it down and see what it turns into. All right, so we're plucking right along on this thing, and Rochelle actually just noticed something that we never even noticed before. All that mud. And they just left it like that. That's crazy. I don't even think it'd break off. No, it's stuck. But from right here, all the way down to here, they just left that big old chunk of mud on there. Dang nabbit. Oh well. That's what you get sometimes, but not from us. So, plucking right along on this thing. So I'm totally gonna make fun of the owner of this car right now, only because I'm allowed to because he's my friend. So Ray told us that the front lip wouldn't come off this thing and it was super stuck on there, okay? I'll give it to him, it might have been super stuck on there, but in order to get it super stuck on there, Ray, you gotta take the other side of the 3M tape off, bud. Yeah. That whole strip was doing nothing. Silly guy. Anyways, that's alright. It had to come off anyways, but that goofball. What a character, I tell ya. Alright, y'all. So I better kill this music down before I get in trouble by good old YouTube, you know, because I don't own the rights to it. So anyways, we are back on the Del Sol. We've had so much going on down here. It's been the Mustangs, and they're both sitting right there yet, so we didn't quite finish those. But kind of change of pace. Ray's ready for his car. The show season is coming up. I know them guys have been waiting. Well, Edward, we've had his car almost a year now. Ooh. But he's been waiting ever so patiently. Anyways, we're gonna knock this Del Sol out. Shouldn't be too bad. We got the works on this one. It's gonna come out real nice, real straight, real clean. But we're gonna just go ahead, dive in to finish taking this thing apart. We are pulling the dash, the seats, every piece of interior, all the glass, all the seals, all the doors, full strip down of this thing. We are doing everything but the engine bay. So we will back tape here, but I'm gonna shoot these, move the wire loom, just a full once over on this thing. And you can see the last people left the seals on it. Got them shot green there. A little bit on that one as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure to get all those off. We don't want none of that. This thing's cracking. Oh man, just pretty bad shape overall. Body's not in too bad of shape. Our biggest work's right over here in this quarter area where the bumper and all that fits to it. We got quite a bit of work to do in this area to the door. So yeah, let's dive into getting this thing all fixed up here. It is time. All right, so just like we thought, this quarter is full of mud. We can see the shrink back in it. So I got my big wheel and I'm gonna get dirty. I got this thing pushed outside, as you guys can see, so I'm not filling the shop full of nastiness. And I'm gonna strip this quarter down real quick. Shouldn't take me, I would say half hour maybe. I don't know, I might record it and see how long it takes. But let's get into this quarter panel. All right, y'all, 20 minutes. So say 30 minutes, half hour into basically getting this thing all stripped. As you guys can see, it is a mess. It is wavy, indented. There's supposed to be a nice body line that goes through here. This is all caved in. So down here is not too bad, a little rough. But man, we've got some pulling now to do on this quarter panel. The other Del Sol was real bad back here. This Del Sol is real bad down in here. So we thought it was gonna be pretty easy, but it's looking to be a little bit of a challenge. So let's dive into the rest of this thing. Man, it is a beautiful Friday around the shop. We're working hard on the Del Sol. We did some cleaning, got the sides cut out of the 66. The Mustang's almost ready for some paint. We've been just cruising along this week, playing with our new sander. Wife's discovered a whole bunch of Bondo in this back bumper. Some prior fixes where they kind of just put it over some paint. Yeah, so we might actually try to find a new back bumper for the Del Sol. I know Ray wouldn't be opposed to that. And then I'm over here working on this quarter panel. Got it all grinded down. Discovered a lot of damage in here. So I'm gonna get the stud gun out and start pulling all this back kind of where it needs to be. This is all warped through here. So that created a lot of this. So we need to get this forward to match up with our door. If we look, big old gap. So I gotta work on getting that gap squared away back to where it needs to be, and then we will be back on track. So let's dive into pulling this thing out. All right, y'all still with me? Woo! There's about 20-30 minutes worth of pulling there. I'm pretty happy with it. I did discover there was this big hole and this big hole, but I've got this pretty well out. I'm gonna have to do some building here and some work, and then I got to grind these back down so I can get right inside there, tack that, give it a couple little pulls. I might even try to get a pick in through here or through here, tap that. But I am getting pretty dang close to lining up with the door. It is still, I mean, a bit off, but it's a bit closer than it was. So we are getting it. I am a little tall, so I should be able to now pull in here and get some of this to go back down where it needs to be. So I'm gonna work on that, and then we'll clean all this up, skim coat it, block it, see how far out it is. So I'm gonna finish cleaning this up. Catch y'all in a minute. What's going on, everyone? We are back on the Del Sol. As you guys we're seeing there, I was pulling these dents out over here. I got them pretty much where I'd like them. They're just a little bit off. But I need to grind them down just a little bit, put a little filler on them, block them, just kind of see my highs and lows. I'm real close with them overall. Dang train. But real close there. I am now working over on this side. I cleaned the shop today, did some other good stuff, and I am back on this quarter panel. So I've got my piece here, ready to cut it in. Alright, y'all. So that took some time, but as we can see here now, I have exposed all these creases. So this is a crease, that's a crease, that's all creased. As we can see, there's a gap in there that allows light through it. If you look in there, you can see the light. So I've got a lot of addressing to do here. This pocket's in really rough shape, and that's what's causing a lot of our damages, to why that taillight pocket won't fit. And then also down in here, this is all creased, that's all creased right there a little bit. So I'm gonna work all of this area, work on pulling this crease, pulling all this is all creased underneath here, really bad right here. So that's a sign that this whole quarter piece needs to come out. which it shows. So I'm gonna work on trying to get all that pulled, all this out. A lot of work ahead of me. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into this. I know that was just a quick little glimpse of some grinding, but let's get the stud gun and start pulling some of this. In the morning. I've been at this quarter panel for about 3.5, 4 hours, and I've made some headway here. If we take a look, let me see if I can get this in without dropping it here. I now have an equal gap just about all the way around the tail light. Gap's just a little large on the bottom, so I'm hoping I can get that filled up. I mean, it's just minimal, but taillight is fitting in its pocket. As you guys can see, I had to beat all of this, I actually put the puller on and gave some tugs here, gave some tugs down here. I can beat all this around. As you can see, we separated the seam sealer. We beat this all around, got it all back real close there. This I ended up blowing through, so I'll tap those over, give them some welds, seam seal all of this nice, clean up this little spot right here. Got a little bit beat up, seam seal, clean up, all the good stuff here. So I've spent a lot of time pulling on this thing. This body line here, it looks like I still need to work it a little bit through here, but that's all to come. Tomorrow I'll put the tail lights in it and then test fit the bumper to this quarter, start getting it all lined up. Once I know the tail light and the back bumper fit, I will cut out my front section, put it in, call this quarter panel a day, skim coat it, do what I got to do there, and then yeah, get it set in primer, get ready to paint it. So I'm gonna clean all this stuff up tomorrow. Catch y'all cutting that quarter in. What's going on, everyone? New day, same car. Check it out. I've been pulling on this thing mad. Last night I had the pocket about where I wanted it, but I had a funky bulge right here. So I got my stud gun down in there, cleaned that, pulled it, pulled this out a little bit. I'm gonna grind it down. I need to pull this edge a little bit more. It's kind of tricky. Maybe I can hit it from the backside and kind of bring it forward, bring it in. Anyways, right now I'm working on getting this guy right here. Kind of hard to see, but it's what's making this arch not be round anymore. So I'm gonna get it cleaned, get it pulled down, hammered, beat around, pulled. I started doing some more pulling up in this area. If you guys look, all of these are technically low spots in a sense. So I had some right here, but I cleaned those up with my grinder. So now I'm gonna hit all these little spots in between that were low, pull all those, grind this whole thing, skim coat it, find my highs, my lows. I might just set it in primer actually. Find my highs and my lows. I've got quite a bit of work to do with this antenna. It's bulged pretty good where they deleted it. So I'm hoping I can shrink and heat and get that to go in. But we are making pretty good progress. It is now Monday. I got the wife down here. She's working on getting the rest of all this interior out. We're pulling seat belts, all this wiring, the boot, the steering column, fuse box, ECU, pulling basically everything, getting ready to pull the engine. Let me get out of her way. And we're just trucking along. We're doing, I mean, full everything. All the suspension's coming off, exhaust, you name it, it's coming off of here. I still got to cut this quarter in today, so I'm just gonna pluck right along on this thing, and let's see how much progress we get made. All right, y'all. I made no progress on Monday. We got sidetracked. We had customers come in. The day just got away from us. So we spent Monday doing other things. It's now Tuesday. I'm back on the Del Sol. I did manage to yesterday do some more pulling, get some grinding done, and actually this is pretty dang smooth. It doesn't look very smooth, but overall, I mean, when you run your hand through it, it's not all bulgy, it's not all wavy, it's pretty smooth. We did get the bumper gaps all about right, so pretty happy with those. Little bit of work on them yet and they'll clean up. I'm gonna work now on welding this. I was able to cut my panel smaller, so got it marked, and I am going to try and cut this thing out now. So I'm really hoping I can get this thing done. It's really rainy today, so hopefully we don't have too many customers here. It is just Rochelle and I running the show, so we get really busy. I think we had like 6 or 7 customers yesterday. Take up quite a bit of time. Had to go run some errands, some things popped up. So anyways, besides that, let's hop into this and get this quarter cut and the new one in, nice and butt welded up, and go ahead, get this thing skim coated, primed, knock this thing out. I'm ready to get it done. So the lady and Ray yesterday, they took apart a bunch of the interior. This is all the ABS stuff and all that sits up in there, and pulled some matting, and we're gonna be painting the whole inside of this thing, up around all the edges, all the nooks and crannies, the backs of the doors, you name it, we're gonna be painting it on this one. So I'm really anxious to get this thing done. Yeah, that's all I got now. Let's dive into it. All right, y'all, so that was pretty painless there. I got that one cut out, took about 15 minutes there. This one's fitting pretty good. As you can see, we don't have too big of a gap. This does have to do a little bit of adjustment. If I shave down right here a little bit, I'm gonna have to shave here a little bit so I can get this to come up just that little scoshy there. I gotta do a little notching right down here, and then trim this red piece up now to match that green cut that I just did. So we're getting it. It's coming along pretty easy. So yeah, I'll just have to cut this back to match this one here. So I had to dodge this inner structure, but pretty easy. I'm gonna notch that down, take a little bit off here, boom boom, start getting it to fit, and then I'll catch y'all on the welding side. All right, y'all, so I just got that thing tacked in there. It is going to take forever and a day to get that in there without warping it. So I'm gonna get to that, tack weld here, tack weld there, tack weld here, tack weld there, weld the back in, weld the bottom, call it a day. So I will catch y'all when that is welded in. Boom. There it is. Got this patch panel all cut in. Came out real nice. All the undersides welded. All up the back. Got it all good, and then I went ahead and welded all of that shut in there as well. So before we had that big gap right here where the inner taillight pocket was separated from the outer, so I went in and welded all of this, all this pocket up to here, and then I will seam seal the rest of this up here. That's how the factory did it, and then we will go from there. I went ahead and filled some holes that I had, a couple little cracks, cleaned up this little groove a little bit. I filled it with lead, so it should be a bit smoother. Came up here, ground down their antenna, filled it with lead as well. I still got a little bit of grinding and cleaning to do on it, and then it'll be good. So now I'm going to go ahead and skim coat this whole thing. Couple spots I'll put a little bit of kitty hair just because it's tough and durable, and then I will skim coat the rest of it, block it, see how straight I am. I think I'm pretty dang straight, and then go from there. So I don't know if you all can see, but I was able to pull all the curvature back out into this hip, so it is all kosher now. It was a bit of work. This didn't really look like it was that bad back here in the taillight pocket, but it was super bad. I think I had 4 hours the one night into it. I had probably 2-3 hours yesterday into it, so 7, and then I probably got another hour or 2 into it today. I'm probably close to 10 hours into getting this taillight pocket squared away. It was an absolute mess. This car really should have had a quarter panel put on it, but we weren't able to get one. I was able to salvage a few parts out of the junkyard, and there we are. So this is the panel we had before. As you guys can see, holes and cracks and just no bueno. So there's that. We're all good to go. I'm gonna skim coat this. I even got the arch pulled pretty well. I am gonna have to use just a little bit of kitty hair right in there to make sure it's arched good. As you guys can see, like right where my finger is just a little bit off, but it is pretty dang close. This arch is nice all the way through. So kitty hair, seam seal, skim coat it. Let's get to it. The wife, she's been down here all day using the new and improved DA. Check this thing out. It's got a built-in vacuum, so no more dirt, or a lot less dirt. We'll still get some, but it has made a difference. She sanded all this, sanded all that up there. She did a bunch of sanding today, and look how clean she still is. It's shocking. She's never clean. Every time she uses the sander, she gets all dirty. So like she said, no more wiping it on our pants to get our pad clean and all that nonsense. It just stays clean. So let's go ahead and dive into skim coating this. All right, we're back down here. I got the light on it. We just sanded it. The wife just wiped it all clean for me. I got my mud board down here. I'm gonna mix up a little bit of long hair, kitty hair, for this spot. Since I welded it in, I mean, it's all tough. I don't really have any movement really at all on the panel, so I'm really happy. But I'm gonna put a little bit there for structure, maybe a little bit through here. None in the back, maybe a little bit up there, and then I will proceed just to skim coat this thing with some regular good old Bondo, some rage, baby, rage. So let's get into skim coating this thing. I'm just gonna knock these down and we'll get another coat put on this thing and hopefully not see any of these spots that I'm tapping now. Ooh, that one moved a bunch. And I don't think I can really reach in there too well. Yep. All right, y'all, I'm gonna call that good. That's enough hammering and dollying. I can barely feel any of those now. So I'm gonna throw another skim coat on this if that's dry, and then I'll catch y'all after this is all skim coated and blocked. we are cruising right along on this thing. I've got all my body work about where I want it as far as the major issues with it. This quarter panel didn't have too much damage, it just had a little bit right here. But due to the nature of this car, they had rolled the quarter panels prior and really went crazy on this thing in order to fit the tire combination that's on it, and they got rid of the body line for the most part. So we went ahead, did some work in the quarters, got rid of it even more. So now it's just a big booty Judy. So worked this body line out. As you can see, it's already, I mean, it was gone to begin with. So we just made this side match this side, because this side was definitely gone from all the repairs. Even after I pulled it, I would have been hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into fixing the body line, pulling it back, shaping it, so on and so forth, just for him to not like it because his tires wouldn't fit. So that's where we're at on that, but all the mud work is done on this thing. I've got this quarter right where I want it. The taillight fits really nice. I can slap it in real quick, give you guys a quick little boom. So our taillight fits really nice in the pocket there, all the way around, nice gappage. And then I went ahead and test fit the back bumper to all this as well, and it fits really, really nice. Went ahead, made this bend. This is all nice and smooth. Got this all flattened and squared out, so the bumper should lay really nice up to this quarter panel. No problems there. Went ahead, got all of my area cleaned up. I got just a little bit of work to do here. I was happy with the door gap if you looked at it dead on like this, but if you looked down it like this, it was just a little bit off. So I put a little more filler in right there. I'm gonna shape it up. That should be good to go. Now I am going to start in on the engine bay, but that is going to be for part 2 of this video. I'm gonna wrap this one up here. Hope you guys have enjoyed part 1 so far. This Del Sol is going to be just bonkers. So stay tuned for part 2. It's gonna get super crazy as we go on this thing. You guys are just hold on to your belt loops. We're gonna be getting into it here. So thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all later.